I think that his postseason, if he makes the Hall of Fame, it will be because of his postseason. It's definite, like you said, clutch in the postseason, and sometimes people remember that. Remember, the writers will remember that, and I think I almost want to say that some of the writers might even like the way he talked, because sports, how a lot of this we go into this Hall of Fame discussion as to sometimes it's a popularity contest, and Schilling, he definitely would give the writers something to write about. He wouldn't shy back, and like some of the players today who won't say anything to these guys or blow them off, he would speak for, he'd speak shoot from his hip. He would speak what he wanted to say what he wanted to say, and I think sport writers and guys in the media like us and stuff, they like that. We want to hear those colorful comments instead of the just taking it one day at a time crap that we hear all the time. So that may play a factor into that. Todd, what are your thoughts on Schilling?
I think Schilling is going to make the Hall of Fame. I know his win total is pretty low, but I think he ranks in top 15 or top 20 in strikeouts. He has way over 3,000. Not way over, but
so does Blyleven.
Well, and yeah, you make a good point there, because Blyleven has 287 wins
and 3,700 strikeouts.
Yeah,
Schilling,
but you have to also look at the fact that his heroics in the World Series with the Diamondbacks, winning co-MVP honors with Randy Johnson that one year back in 2001, and also his bloody sock when the Red Sox won back in I guess was that 2005? I'm getting too old. I can't remember.
2004. Well, I mean, yeah. So we'll just see.
I think he is. I think he'll be voted into the Hall of Fame just because he made such an impact with his exploits.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. We'll have to see what history will tell the time for Schilling, especially if you compare him to a guy like Blyleven. It is definitely tough to give him the nod if you're not going to put Blyleven in. I mean, the numbers are just too. They're too. I don't want to say comparable, but I mean, Blyleven seems to have better numbers overall. And
Blyleven definitely should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
I definitely believe
it's just a matter of time. It's he's in that percentage tile that he's going to where he was this year. I think it was 62%. He's gonna get the bump. It's just a matter of time for him, and it might be that way with Schilling.
How many years does Blyleven have on the ballot?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know that he's got some time left. He's not coming to the drop dead point yet, I believe. Because I mean, everybody when they talked about this thing, when they talked about Blyleven when the Hall of Fame stuff went out in January, he wasn't real happy about it. But all the professionals, analysts, or whatever you want to call it, seem to agree that he will get in. It's just whether it might be next year or the year after, but it's just a matter of time within the next couple of years. But we'll just have to see with that. My thing is that Curt Schilling, and the reason why I want to bring him up is just because of what I was saying before. I don't mind a guy who comes out and says what he wants to say and is not afraid of being politically correct. And sometimes it gets old. You don't want to hear like go away. Your opinion does not necessarily mean anything. But it is nice that somebody does have in this type of arena who's under the public scrutiny, under the public eye, has the ability to go out and say stuff and just say what he feels. And I did respect him for that. I will say that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in a booth somewhere doing some analysis, because he's just got that type of personality where he can play to the camera and play to the the airwaves, I guess. So we'll have to just keep an eye on Schilling, but good luck to him and whatever he does decide to do. Pretty decent numbers, like we said, and played for a lot of teams and good postseason stuff. So 646-652-2962. If you got any questions out there you want to call in, we'll try to get you on the air. Hopefully our phone system seems to be working now. Everything seems to be working now, so we'll see what happens. So let's talk about spring training. Spring training and stuff that we were going to talk about last week that just didn't happen. Okay, I had a chance to meet Melissa Lockhart. Melissa has been on the show a couple times. She's writes for MVN and more recent, or in the past I should say, and more recently writing for the Scout of the Oakland Athletics version of the Scout. The Scouts they do all the teams, and she's writing for Scout, the Athletics, and she's their main writer and main person when it comes to prospects. But we've had her on a couple times and interviewed her, and it was nice to actually meet her. I met her and her husband actually takes the pictures for her for the site. So be sure we've plugged her site before, but be sure to go check her out at scout.com if you're over there, and if you've got that membership, then go ahead and check out her stuff. We're going to try to get her on again sometime here in the future to talk about the A's system, because there's a lot of cool things going on with the Oakland Athletics these days. Also had a chance to meet and speak briefly with Jamie Newberg. Jamie has been on the show a couple times, just on a few months ago, actually. In January, we had him on for his we had his book. We were talking about his book and the Newberg Report, and he's the Texas Rangers guy. We've mentioned him before in here. Had a chance to meet him, but before that, when I was out there in the back fields of the Rangers, a chance to speak with John Daniels, general manager of the Texas Rangers. And Napper, it's my first GM that I got to speak with one-on-one. That was kind of cool. And what really took me about John Daniels, and I don't know how much you know about him. I know Todd does, because we talked about this when we were out there, and I know if Dallas was here, or he would know as well. But John Daniels is a young guy. He's got to be. I'm 35. He's no older than me, and it's just it's kind of interesting, because I can't imagine me running a baseball team. Don't get me wrong, I would love to, but it's just you think of general managers as older guys, and Billy Beane started the trend of the new younger general managers, and you've had a onslaught of them come into the system. These guys who are more into, they know baseball, but they're also into the business aspect of it. But one of the things I talked to Daniels about, and he was very nice and stuff, was about that the Texas Rangers, according to Baseball America, are the number one ranked overall system when it comes to prospects in the minor leagues in all of baseball, and he obviously is real happy about that. One of the things he did mention, that it's cool because they are going to have the ability now to either promote from within, because they've got such a good system, they got all these nice prospects, and just build a ball club and build a winning ball club from within, or if they find themselves in a winning proposition, then they can make a trade of some sort and use some of that talent to maybe get a veteran or two to make their playoff run at that particular time more successful as well. So that kind of states the obvious, but it was kind of neat to hear him say. But you could definitely tell that they are more apt to promote from within. They want to try to win from within instead of going to outside sources. So, but John Daniels was a good guy. I also briefly discussed the Texas Rangers pulling out of Clinton, Iowa in the Midwest League. They were the Clinton Lumber Kings for a while here. I don't know the exact amount of years. I should know that. But this year they reaffiliated and moved to the Sally League, South Atlantic League. And I asked them about the move, why they left. Why they left Clinton? Clinton. For those of you who've been to Clinton, Iowa, and I know Napper has, it's kind of odd that you can actually say you've been to Clinton, Iowa to watch a baseball game. It's kind of nutty,
Right.
But he said that Clinton obviously is a nice town. He was very complimentary of it, but that they needed a little different aspect. They wanted some better weather and just a little bit more. He didn't go into the specifics because he didn't probably want to tell me really why they left. But so it was just interesting to hear his perspective on that. Also spoke with Scott Service. Scott Service is the player development director for the Texas Rangers. As I mentioned to him, we also discussed it being the number one organization, and he was obviously happy about that. And you know what? Give Scott Service a lot of credit, because we talked to Service. I want to say, I think he was like our second interview, right after Artie Moreno, when we were formerly known as the TKS, Tim Kuda Show, and he started this process. He's one of the guys to be given some of the credit for making the Ranger system as good as they are, because he's been in charge of it for the last few years. So we briefly discussed that, and then he pointed out this pitcher, number 5 overall prospect according to BA, Martin Perez, left-handed pitcher. The guy is going to turn 18 here like next week, or